This is the IONA tarot or IONA tarot. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it. This has been sought after in the collecting circle of tarot for years and years and years, over a decade, I think. If you look at a lot of the tarot forum, this has been sought after for a long, long time. I'm going to give a little bit more details about the original down in the description section below. This is a reproduction, I believe, done in Eastern Europe. I will again put some description down below. Now, I am going to let this go. Sadly, I think it may only be worth it if you are in New Zealand or Australia, because I believe this is still available on Etsy. The reason why I'm letting this go is because of this. Sorry, that's Ladybird. This hand here, the right hand of the magician, should be on a separate card. In the original, it has a little card separately about this big that is completely separate from the deck. Now, I wish they would have just put that in a separate extra card, because that's doable. I understand that cutting it small is extra work and it adds to the cost and whatever. So I'm in the process of requesting that they do that. However, it won't be for another few weeks. It's just really, in terms of quote unquote reading it, you know, it looks like this is sitting here is completely different from when the hand sits separately, because that hand could then be drawn together with another card, and that could change everything. It could change the way the story unfolds, whether you use this as a tool for divination, whether you use this as a tool for more modern sort of, or I shouldn't say modern because I know divination is ancient, but you know what I mean, the more sort of story oriented, psychologically, sort of emotionally oriented, imaginatively oriented, poetically oriented, artistically oriented use of tarot. This is definitely more than that. I do understand some are not, but it depends, because there's so many arrays of tarot these days. I do believe some tarot are created to go deeper psychologically or poetically or artistically or creatively or narratively, and others are created to go deeper magically, and I think this is one of those. So I am going to admit that magical and esoterical use of tarot is currently not where I'm at, but I have been wondering about the existence of this deck up to a point where I forgot that it existed, because I just never see the original. I've seen scans of the original. I've never seen the physical photo of the physical. I think except for somebody who shared a copy that they found years and years and years ago in one of these forums that I've completely forgotten about since. And so the artwork is very intense. The artwork is definitely, I mean, look at the back. This is one of the cards. The artwork is definitely magical in nature. Completely over my head at the moment, I'm going to be honest. And having said that, I do believe in the power of stories, the power of images and pictures, and I'm going to enjoy myself in that regard. So, a warning, sorry, there is quite not for. So there is the union between, you know, the world, or sort of, not the world, but there's, well, you can see it, however, and this is amazing, this one here. So I'm putting this aside because this one decision to put what is essentially a separate card, the right hand of the magician, in a world where people are right-handed, the right hand of the magician is holding the moon, and the sun is behind them, and there's a sun below them. So you look like it's the different. I have no knowledge of any write-up about this deck and this images, so everything here is based on my own take on the images, my impressions, the thoughts that they conjure up, you know. So this is all my take. If you know anything about the write-up of these images, please let me know down below. So the sun looked like it's in different phases. The sun, I am thinking rising, you know, sort of rising and setting, and then the moon is in their right hand. And you can imagine the implication if you drew the moon on the right hand of the magician together with another card, as opposed to drawing this where it's just basically flopped, sort of plonked in the middle like that, looking as if the hand is coming out of their thigh, which isn't how it was intended. And I think that intention, specifically when it's so specific that the right hand was created on a separate card, a little tiny card like that, I think it is fair to say that that is not an artistic choice, but that there's a more intention behind why the right hand of the magician carrying the moon is separated that way. I mean, this artwork is just insane. Okay, it's just absolutely this is definitely, for the moment, is something that I draw one card in and just look at. So there's a reason why this is so highly, this is one of the most highly collectible, the original that is. This is, I am not sure about where things are at with the copyright, so I can't comment on that. So if you know any different, if you know that this is not in the public domain, or that there should be concerns, feel free to let me know down below in the comment section. I mean, look at that chalice over there. It's, that moon looks like could be an egg, or could be, and the chalice is dripping in blood circulated by the faces of the moon. So, and this is the back of the card here. Now, originally, whether the back of the card is this or not, I can't remember. You can easily find this out by Googling IONA or IONA Tarot. Oh, unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So, if you're in New Zealand, I'm in two minds about keeping this. I can keep this until the other version is ready. I don't know when that's going to be, but I don't want to keep both versions, and this really bugs me. So if you're in New Zealand, and if it's cheaper for you to simply compensate me for my costs than to purchase this, then give me a DM on my Instagram, my collection for sale, or comment down below. Okay, again, this image is not for everyone, so I'm warning you. This is the world, and it's basically like a sort of unity there. And again, this is really such a shame. It could so easily be solved by printing this section here on a separate card. Just a big one like that, and if we want to cut it, it's up to us, but leave the separate card as a separate card instead of plonking it in the middle like that. It really does ruin the whole deck for me, because this one card, which is a real pity. It's such a pity. I thought she was going to wait for the other one to be ready, for the deck, the set, for her printer to be ready to print a set where the hand is separated as intended, as designed, before she sent this to me, but she sent this to me anyway. So it's not practical for me to send this back to her, but so this is why this is for sale. If you're in New Zealand, maybe if you're in Australia, I don't know what shipping is like these days to Australia, but feel free to drop me a DM. Yeah, I mean, I can't, other than that, this is a really good set. The cardstock is pretty good. It's very much like made plain cards and standard, but remember that because this is elongated, it feels quite floppy, but to shuffle is pretty good. It feels like cardstock. It doesn't feel like paper stock. It's laminated adequately. It isn't out of this world, but it is good enough. It is not substandard. It is pretty standard. And I think service was good. The shipping was reasonable. Communication was great. So yeah. So again, if you're in New Zealand, or if you can make the math work, if you're in Australia, let me know. Otherwise, I might just keep this until the other one is ready and potentially just give this away or donate this. I don't know. But yeah, so that's that. The IONA or IONA Tarot. Bye.